the forgotten source of power in every era. Men have searched for the secret behind effortless attraction, that quiet presence that makes others notice without a word being spoken. Some thought it was appearance, others status, but those who looked deeper discovered something far more profound: the mastery of inner energy. Semen retention is not simply abstaining, it is a redirection of life. In the ancient Sanskrit texts, this energy was called ojas, the subtle essence that fuels vitality, creativity, courage, and charisma. When conserved and refined, ojas becomes a magnetic field surrounding a man. It changes how he stands, speaks, and even breathes. Modern society, driven by instant gratification, has forgotten the language of self-control. Yet when a man chooses restraint, he begins to rewrite his own biology. Hormones rebalance, posture straightens, eyes grow sharper, and mind becomes focused. The same energy that once dissipated outward now builds inward, forming a quiet intensity that others can feel. Imagine walking through the world not seeking attention but carrying an invisible current of purpose. People sense something different: confidence without arrogance, calm without indifference. This is the essence of natural attraction, when energy rises instead of leaks. Science now confirms what sages intuited centuries ago. Studies show that maintaining higher testosterone levels, combined with self-discipline and mental clarity, changes social perception. Others subconsciously read this as strength and stability. A man practicing retention doesn't need to prove his worth. His body language already communicates it, but the real transformation begins in the mind. Each urge resisted becomes an act of willpower. Each moment of self-control forges a deeper trust in oneself. Slowly, the seeker moves from impulse to intention, from scattered desire to directed purpose. This is where attraction turns inward first. Self-respect becomes the foundation for outer magnetism. Semen retention, when practiced consciously, is less about denial and more about transmutation, turning raw desire into creativity, learning, and achievement. History's greatest thinkers and leaders often spoke of channeling their energy into art, science, or spiritual discovery. They understood that physical restraint without mental elevation leads to frustration, but restraint with purpose ignites genius. So the journey begins not with rules, but with awareness, noticing where energy goes, how thoughts shape urges, and how presence transforms interaction. A man grounded in this awareness doesn't chase, he moves with direction. The world feels his steadiness and responds accordingly. When you stop seeking validation, the energy that once scattered outward gathers into your core. This is why people look again when you enter a room, not because of external change, but because your field of energy has become ordered. You have stopped leaking attention, you have become attention itself. The first stage of mastery is patience. Just as fire needs containment to become useful, desire needs structure to become power. In restraint lies intensity. In stillness lies momentum. The paradox is clear. By holding back, you advance faster, from impulse to influence. The science of inner gravity attraction begins long before words are spoken. It starts as an energy exchange, subtle, unspoken, but deeply felt. When a man practices semen retention, his energy field grows denser and more coherent. The restless vibration of scattered desire quiets, replaced by steady confidence. This state of coherence is what people sense as inner gravity, the unexplainable pull of presence. Think of it like a magnet. A magnet doesn't chase, it simply exists in a charged state, and objects naturally align to its field. Similarly, a man with mastered energy doesn't pursue validation. He radiates subtle assurance. His calmness amidst chaos signals strength. His focus in a distracted world becomes rare currency. In biological terms, semen retention influences neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. When men indulge excessively in short-term pleasure, dopamine spikes and crashes, leaving them restless and dependent on stimulation. Retention, on the other hand, resets this reward system. Gradually, small things feel meaningful again: a sunrise, a deep conversation, the satisfaction of work well done. This neurological balance becomes emotional balance. Confidence grows, not from external approval, but from internal steadiness. When you're no longer a slave to impulse, your presence feels grounded, reliable, unshakable. Women and men alike notice that steadiness. They may not understand it logically, but instinctually they trust it. That's the secret of influence: not loudness, not dominance, but energetic stability. People are drawn to those who can hold their center when others lose theirs. Throughout history, every spiritual discipline has hinted at this same truth. The yogic path calls it brahmacharya, the disciplined use of creative energy. Taoist teachings speak of Dijang, the essence that must be cultivated rather than wasted. Even modern psychology acknowledges that sublimation, redirecting sexual energy into creative pursuits, leads to higher achievement and emotional clarity. A man practicing semen retention begins to notice these effects beyond theory. His thoughts sharpen, his posture changes, his eyes, once restless, develop a steady gaze that communicates quiet authority. There's no need for performance or manipulation. The energy speaks for itself. Women sense this too, not because of tricks or tactics, but because biology and energy respond to integrity. When a man is whole within himself, he doesn't send mixed signals of need or insecurity. His aura says, "I am enough." And paradoxically, that very self-sufficiency becomes the deepest form of allure. But retention without direction can become stagnation. Energy is meant to flow, not downward into indulgence, but upward into purpose. The same drive that fuels lust can fuel vision. It can become focus, art, or leadership. The man who learns to channel it becomes unstoppable because his motivation is no longer reactive but creative. This shift transforms social dynamics. Instead of chasing attention, you begin to inspire it. Instead of asking, "What can I get?" your energy asks, "What can I build?" Purpose replaces pursuit. Fulfillment replaces craving. That's when attraction happens naturally. Not because you want it, but because you've become the kind of man who doesn't need to chase it. When you embody restraint with awareness, even your silence communicates power. People feel a calm intensity around you, as if something deeper is guiding your actions. You walk slower, speak less, yet your words carry weight. Your body no longer leaks anxiety. It radiates certainty. This is the stage of influence without effort, the point where your energy field itself begins to attract opportunities, respect, and connection. Energy, transmutation, turning desire into power and purpose. When you begin to conserve energy, something surprising happens. The pressure builds. Every instinct pushes you to release, to seek quick relief. But if you can stay calm inside that storm, the energy starts to rise instead of explode. It moves upward through thought, ambition, and creativity. This process is called transmutation, the art of changing one form of energy into another. Ancient mystics described it in spiritual language, but the principle is simple. Desire is neutral power. How you direct it decides whether it burns you or fuels you. When desire stays stuck at the level of craving, it rules your mind. When you guide it upward, it becomes focus, inspiration, and action. Artists, inventors, and leaders have all felt this shift. They sensed that their creative breakthroughs were the same force as sexual energy, purified by attention and intention. Modern science offers a parallel view. Dopamine, the brain's motivation chemical, is released when we chase pleasure, but it's also released when we pursue long-term goals. By delaying gratification, you retrain your brain to associate excitement not only with indulgence but with progress. Each time you redirect an urge into exercise, study, or work, you strengthen that neural pathway. Gradually, the restless energy that once sought escape becomes the fire that drives achievement. You stop running from emptiness and start moving toward mastery. This is where semen retention becomes more than discipline, it becomes direction. The energy that once demanded release now asks for expression. You might feel compelled to write, build, train, or serve. Whatever your path, the same current powers it on a deeper level. This transformation changes your relationship with desire itself. You realize that attraction was never about the other person. It was about your aliveness. When your inner world is vibrant, everything you do carries charge. Work feels purposeful, conversations meaningful, silence peaceful. Women, colleagues, friends, everyone responds to that life in you. They can't explain it, but they feel uplifted around you. That's transmutation in action. Not suppression, but redirection. To sustain it, you need rhythm. Energy rises best in balanced rest, balanced by effort. Solitude, balanced by service. Meditation, breathwork, or prayer. Keep the current steady. Physical training grounds it in the body, so it doesn't spiral into frustration. Creative work channels it into form, so it doesn't stagnate. Over time, you stop thinking about holding in and start living as if a light has turned on inside you. You become more patient, less reactive, yet more alive. That inner voltage is what the world interprets as confidence and charisma. It's not about denying your humanity. It's about mastering your instrument. Every urge is a note when played consciously. It becomes music instead of noise. This is how desire transforms into destiny. The same energy that once scattered outward now becomes the current that carries you toward the life you were meant to create. Presence, polarity, and the silent language of attraction. When energy stabilizes within you, the way you move through the world changes. The mind stops chasing, the body relaxes. You're no longer seeking connection to fill a void. You're already full. That fullness is presence. Presence is not loud or dramatic. It's the stillness that makes noise unnecessary. You start to listen more, observe more, and react less. Because your attention isn't scattered, your energy becomes concentrated. Wherever you are, you're fully there. Others notice this instantly. In an age where everyone's attention is fragmented, real presence feels magnetic. People turn toward it without knowing why. A retained man becomes like a campfire in the dark, quiet, warm, yet commanding attention. This is the essence of polarity, the natural energetic difference that draws feminine energy toward masculine stillness. Not through control or chase, but through complementarity. Feminine energy flows and feels. Masculine energy grounds and directs. When a man stands rooted in himself, he creates the safety and strength that allow attraction to unfold naturally. Attraction at this level isn't a game. It's communication without words, an exchange of frequency rather than performance. The retained man doesn't try to impress. He expresses truth through his steadiness. He doesn't seek attention, yet his calmness speaks louder than 1,000 gestures. Eye contact becomes a conversation of energy. The moment stretches, not with tension, but with awareness. This is where attraction transcends surface traits and becomes energetic resonance. The more you anchor into your center, the more others feel drawn to that stability. From a psychological perspective, this presence triggers a deep sense of trust. Women, especially, sense whether a man is seeking validation or radiating wholeness. One posture invites pursuit, the other invites respect. True masculinity doesn't demand attention, it creates gravity. And yet, this gravity doesn't isolate you. It connects you more deeply to life. Because you're no longer leaking attention outward, your awareness opens inward. You begin to notice subtleties, the way wind moves, the rhythm of footsteps, the silence between words. This heightened sensitivity enriches every interaction. That's the paradox. The more you withhold from impulsive indulgence, the more you feel everything. You become both strong and sensitive, a rare combination. Strength without sensitivity becomes rigidity. Sensitivity without strength becomes chaos. Retention balances both, creating harmony within. In practical life, this means your relationships change. You attract differently. People who once overlooked you start noticing your calm assurance. Those drawn to drama lose interest because your stillness offers no fuel for chaos. And those seeking authenticity feel safe around you. Your presence itself becomes communication. It says, "I'm not here to take from you. I'm here to share the energy I've cultivated." That is irresistible, not because it's calculated, but because it's rare. Presence turns the ordinary into sacred. A simple conversation becomes connection. A quiet walk becomes meditation. You stop trying to prove and start allowing. And when you allow, attraction happens as a natural consequence of harmony. The mastery path, living as the magnet, not the seeker. When you live in retention long enough, something fundamental shifts. What once felt like discipline starts to feel like freedom. You no longer wake up wrestling with urges. You wake up with direction. Energy that was once a source of distraction becomes a source of focus. This is the stage of mastery, not perfection, but awareness. You understand that energy will always seek expression, and your task is to channel it consciously. Instead of fighting against yourself, you cooperate with life's current. Mastery doesn't mean isolation or repression. It means using your energy wisely. You build your body through work, your mind through study, your heart through service. You express desire through creativity, not compulsion. The world begins to mirror this new order within you. Clarity replaces confusion. Respect replaces rejection. Purpose replaces emptiness. When you live this way, attraction becomes effortless because it's no longer your goal. It's your side effect. You stop chasing outcomes and start embodying principles. The irony is that the moment you let go of needing attention, you become the kind of man who naturally receives it. People feel it in your presence. A quiet self-assurance, a grounded confidence that doesn't need to prove. Your eyes hold depth. Your words carry calmness. Your movements express certainty. This is true magnetism, not something you perform, but something you are. Women, success, recognition, these things now flow toward you not because you chase them, but because your vibration matches theirs. You have become a stable frequency in a noisy world, and all that resonates with truth finds you naturally. Retention, at its highest, is not about celibacy alone. It's about conscious choice. You could indulge, but you don't have to. You could chase, but you prefer to create. That freedom, to act from will instead of impulse, is real power. With time, you'll notice that attraction changes form. It's no longer about excitement. It's about connection. The kind of woman drawn to your energy now is one who values depth, peace, and growth. She's not chasing attention. She's seeking alignment. And that is the ultimate gift of this path. It refines not only you, but also what you attract. You stop seeking temporary highs and start embodying lasting truth. Your energy, once divided, has become whole. Your presence, once uncertain, now anchors others. You are no longer the seeker. You are the magnet. When you walk into a room, you don't need to demand space. Space opens for you. When you speak, you don't need to convince. Your words carry conviction. When you love, it's not from emptiness, but from overflow. That is the silent power of male self-mastery, not dominance over others, but dominion over self. The ability to direct life force energy with purpose, patience, and peace. So remember, retention is not just about what you hold back, it's about what you build forward. Every moment of restraint is a moment of creation. Every act of discipline is a seed of destiny. And when you live like that, attraction ceases to be a pursuit. It becomes a reflection, the world responding to the strength of your inner alignment. You have become what you once sought. The energy no longer chases, it simply is. Before we conclude, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to share this video to you dear, once you're in comments, your feedback. I love to know where you are, opinion and experiences, and if you ever have any questions, join our Telegram channel where we interact directly and help each other grow. The link is in the description.